Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to the AI Learning Lab. Happy Saturday night. I was just watching little Tom Segura, his new special. What's it called? I forget. He's a funny mofo. I like Tom Segura. Thanks for your time on these lives, or for these lives. You're very, very welcome. I appreciate the kind words. Good day, good day, good day. Welcome, everybody. We'll wait for some other folks to come on in. Feel free to share the live. Greeting, Mr. Vasquez. Greetings, greetings, greetings. Yeah, I think hitting the heart button lets people know we're live too. So if you haven't talked about it recently, would you mind talking about API keys and their use? I can talk about that, sure. I assume do you mean just generally or using OpenAI's API keys? Let me know, because it's a broad topic and I don't go very deep in it. But I can give you some of the basics. Will they ever bring back Bing on ChatGPT? I don't know. Apparently when a lawyer gets out of their ass. Oh man, there's a lot of people here. Welcome everybody. My name's Kyle Shannon. This is the AI Learning Lab. A little bit about me. I am an entrepreneur. I've started, 12 or 15 companies in my day. I should probably get that number. That's something I should probably know. My current gig is I am the co-founder and CEO of a company called Storyvine, which is an automated video storytelling platform. And this channel is all about exploring generative AI and dealing with what it is and what it's going to do, and sort of talking about, now that we've hit this inflection point where ChatGPT has happened. Hey, Emilio's wife. Class is in session. Yeah, class with the disturbing professor. Now that the cat is out of the proverbial bag with all these large language models and ChatGPT. What the hell do we do with this, and how do we make sense of it, and how do we learn about it, and what do we do, and is it going to take your job, and is it going to, are the robots going to kill us, all that sort of stuff. I tend to lean on the more optimistic side of the conversation. I tend on the less technical side of the conversation. I'm more about what do we do with it now that it's here, rather than, how do we build the models and do the engineering. So that's why if you have questions about AI, pop them in the comments below. I'll do my best to answer them. And, other things like I swear sometimes. So if you don't like that, I would encourage you to find another AI Learning Lab that has better values. And then what else? I'm kind of a smart ass. If you're going to troll, be creative about it. Don't just be a jerk. And don't be a jerk to other people in here, please. And don't bring in politics. And let's not have division and shit like that. All right, let's go answer some questions. He's legit adorable. No, he's so cute. What are we going to do? Oh, do I learn about AI or? All right. I don't know why I did that. Because I'm an idiot. All right, let's see. Old as in 1994. Well, I don't know what that's in reference. GTS? Wait, GTs? As old as in 1994. I assume you mean you've been here before and you've heard me talk about starting a company in 1994, which was one of the early web companies, which is one of the reasons I think this what's it called, generative AI stuff is such a big deal, is I was there for the early days of the web and started one of the early digital agencies, and this is very, very similar to that. So anyway, if you haven't played with is that top one there, chat.openai.com, that is that's the official ChatGPT website. So if you haven't played with it, just go there right now and play with it. And if you don't know what to do, go to that document, prompts.chat, and that'll teach you what prompting is and how to talk to these things and what they really are. And it'll give you a bunch of ideas about sort of personas that you can give ChatGPT to act like an accountant, act like a strategist, act like a marketer, act like a screenwriter, whatever it is. And it's a really good document. And then Bing and Poe are also ChatGPT variants that you can play with. Bing in particular is GPT-4 connected to the internet, and you can make images there for free. You just type in, make me an image of a, I don't know, 1969 GTO judge in a field, and it will. It won't look like a GTO judge, but it'll be close. It'll look like a 60s, 70s muscle car. And then Poe.com gives you access to a bunch of different models. And then Futurepedia, the one down below, is just a big directory of AI sites and services and shit like that. Most of them are crap, but there's some good stuff there. All right. Let's get into the questions. Okay. Want to add this competency on my resume. What's a good way to learn what I need to claim confidently? Can you spell AI? You got to get those letters right. Like if you're dyslexic, it's a fucking nightmare. So I'm an expert in IA. Let's see. Well, I would say, the reason I have these URLs on screen for these lives is that's where I think you should start. Just start to understand what you can do with ChatGPT. Start solving problems with it. I don't know quite what you are, if you're a project manager or if you're an account person or if you're a salesperson. Start to understand what you can do with these tools for your job. Just start to get AI literate about what's possible here and then what you can do for what you already do there. And that's a place to start. And then the thing that I would add to it is start talking about it, like from day one, like tonight. Go there, if you haven't, and just start dicking around. Have it write a song, have it write a poem, have it write a project plan, have it write a recipe, have it write a meal plan. Like, doesn't fucking matter. Just go there and start playing. And then share that. Share it on Facebook, share it in your community group, share it with your family, even if they think you're fucking weird and like, I heard AI's gonna kill us all. Why are you doing that? That's stupid. You're a dum-dum, Jenna. Jenna, I don't know why you do all this computer stuff. It just takes you away from your family. Just ignore all that shit. I assume your family doesn't talk like that. But if they do, I'm psychic. And start telling people about it, because that may lead to a job for one thing, or a different job, or a different opportunity in your current job. But what's going to start to happen, and it's already starting to happen, is that people are increasingly going to want to figure this out. And they're going to start asking, who do I know that knows something about this? And initially you might be crazy Jenna who just talks about AI. But at some point they're going to go, oh, I think I got to deal with this. I just got laid off because of this stuff. What is this stuff? Can you help me? Be that person. Be that educated person. My hair looks good, and so do you. Thank you. I don't know that hair looks good. That hair looks like it needs an intervention. All right. How do you get rid of business when it's tanked? How do you get rid of business when it's tanked? Like if you started a business, I don't know, you gracefully shut it down. You thank people for their hard work. You thank your customers, and you do what you can to get out of contracts. I don't quite know what you mean there. If you need like legal advice, I'd get a lawyer. But I don't, if you can clarify that. Can AI give lawyer advice? It can, but you need to check it and double check it if you're talking law stuff. But you can have it, like what it can do really well is it can read documents. And there's this new thing called Code Interpreter, which now is available to all ChatGPT Plus members, where you can upload, like, it seems like any kind of file, and it sort of figures shit out about them. But you could upload a big lawyerly document and have it analyze it and help you understand it and potentially even come up with strategies for how to respond to it. And then, unless it's kind of a low stakes thing, a few months back, we started this newsletter called Everyday AI, and then some partner from Andreessen Horowitz also started a thing called Everyday AI, and that was a case where like we didn't want them to do it, but it didn't really matter. So we were actually thinking about having an AI lawyer. Maybe we could get a a reporter to follow the case where we were just going to use a full on AI lawyer. It ended up not going anywhere. We ended up dealing with them, without needing to do law stuff. But if it's something that is actually really important, then you should get a lawyer. But you can absolutely use ChatGPT to understand documents, to come up with ideas for strategies, things like that. And then again, go to prompts.chat and look at the structure of those prompts where it tells the ChatGPT to act like a certain persona, and have yours act like a lawyer. All right, let's see. Okay, this one's actually important. Best singer: Mariah, Celine, or Whitney? Celine bugs me. I think you got to go Whitney. I mean, Mariah's remarkable, Celine's remarkable, but there's just something about her that I don't know. And Whitney's just she's just on a different level. It's Whitney. It's Whitney. There was a fun Christmas we had one year where my wife's family, she's from the Bronx, and they came up. We had a country place in Pennsylvania, and I heard all this screaming like after dinner. Like we finished dinner, and I went up to watch TV with some of the guys, and there's just loud chatter, and it's going on for like an hour, and it's getting escalated, and then it's turning into a fight. And so I went downstairs and I said, "What the fuck is going on? Like what do you?" And it was like a 90-minute full-blown argument about who was more famous, Barbra Streisand or Michael Jackson. Those are the best arguments. What operating system are you? I'm an Apple fanboy, so I am OS X through and through. Don't give me that Microsoft bullshit, except in the last 6 months, I've become a Microsoft fan. Non-swearing classes down the hall. Exactly. Teach me something. Okay, I'm 6'2". Taller people sometimes have to duck their heads through doorways. Hope that's new information for you. Are you a robot? No, but I am ChatGPT 5. Don't I look realistic? Y'all are a little smartassy tonight. I like it. I have a sense there's some wine drinking going on. There might be a whiskey or two. Might be some people playing the ganja. What company is doing the most with AI? Well, Microsoft is fucking with the most competitors and doing it joyfully. OpenAI is the thorn in the side of the most companies, and those two are like, they're little pals right now. They're little corporate buddies fucking with the world. Don't discount Google. They invented the transformer, which is the T in GPT. That's transformer that Google invented. Now, their Bard model sucks, but it'll get better. So they're doing a lot in AI, but they're definitely playing catch up. Meta is trying desperately to detangle itself from its name. But it's not. Meta's not really about the metaverse per se. I mean, Meta has an A in it, and then AI. Like if we just added an I at the Meta AI, we're an AI company, right? So, but they're actually doing some interesting shit where they're releasing some of their technology into the wild as open source, which is interesting. So they're doing interesting stuff. Midjourney is, for the image generation tools, in my opinion, by far the best of the image generation tools. But Stability AI that does stable diffusion they keep releasing their all of their technology as open source, which I think is another interesting move. Then there's Anthropic, and then there's Inflection, which just got funded for $1.3 billion. But that's the dude that was the founder of DeepMind, so he's a literal fucking brainiac. So there's some good pedigree there. Those are the biggies. NVIDIA seems to have a relative monopoly on GPUs for AI processing, which I find baffling, but it seems to be the case. AMD is trying to come up and do something with them, but like the all the software stuff is so entrenched with NVIDIA that I don't know. That's going to be a tough one to topple. Apple to me right now feels like a shark circling the boat. Because they've got their own silicon that processes machine learning locally, and they've got a real good reputation for privacy. And they're fucking Apple. When they get into this stuff, it's going to be really good. And they're gonna kind of reinvent it. Like right now, AI is really geeky, and you gotta go to ChatGPT, and you gotta learn about prompt engineering. And now there's this thing called Code Interpreter, and you gotta figure out what it is, and how to upload a file, and how to query a file. And then you watch it do its thing, and it doesn't do it, and it's like everything right now is just this janky spit and duct tape. Don't get me wrong. It's remarkable, profound, gonna change the world forever technology, but right now it's janky and duct tapey. Those are the biggies for me. Those are the ones I'm paying attention to. I'm looking for a good free AI to help with coding. Well, go there. Go there. Go there. Go there. That's why I have it here. And when there's a better one, I'll put a better one here. So I don't know if Copilot on GitHub is free, but Copilot on GitHub is a GPT coding assistant. So you do pair programming where it does kind of code completion for you. But GPT-4 does code really well, and they just launched Code Interpreter, which I'll show you here in a second. It's mind-blowing. You upload a file, and then you start asking about it, and it writes its own Python code and executes it. What it essentially does, I'm starting to understand it now. When you launch an instance of Code Interpreter, like a Code Interpreter chat, what it's essentially doing is spinning up like a virtual computer, and then you ask it to do something, and it's like, sure, and then it writes Python code, it installs libraries if it needs to, it runs the code. If stuff times out, it's like, oh, well, let me try another thing. It basically keeps running code until it succeeds, and then it gives you what you want. And it's doing this all in this little kind of virtual computer. It's like you have this little coding assistant, this little technology data analyst assistant just sitting there waiting. So if you haven't played with Code Interpreter, you should. It's not free, but it's $20 a month, and for what it does, it's fucking remarkable. But if you just want it to do code, like GPT 3.5 does code really well. Bing.com is GPT-4, so I don't know how well that version of GPT-4 is for code, but it's probably pretty good because they're the ones that put together Copilot for GitHub. And then there's a bunch of, if you go to the bots at Poe.com, they're all free, and there's a bunch of coding bots. If you go into the into the Explore button at Poe.com, here, I'll show you a couple of those. Poe. So when you go to Poe.com, it's just a normal chat bot kind of ChatGPT thing. There's all these different models you can play with, but this Explore button here, you can go explore bots that other people have made, and then click on the programming one. And these are all programming bots. So Python machine, run Python code, HTML machine, JS machine, PyGolf, GeoJSON, It's just a ton of them. And, you put in some stuff and it'll write code for you. So lots and lots of things to play with. But honestly, the just ChatGPT is the deal. So check this thing out. So what you see on screen right there, this is Code Interpreter. This is just fucking insanity. So what you're looking at is a pie chart of different colors. I know that's obvious. It's like, duh, Kyle. We can see that. But let me read some of the color names: Midnight Mystery, Chestnut Horse, Muted Mustard, Rusty Nail, Creamy Pearl, Golden Dawn, Autumn Blaze, Cocoa Darkness, Lagoon Ripple. These are all really good color names. And then there's these different colored slices. So what this is Code Interpreter. So what I did was I uploaded this image, which was an image from the AI salon. This is one of the women in the AI salon made this, which is super cool. So I uploaded that image, and then I said to ChatGPT, or I said to Code Interpreter, or whatever the fuck it is, ChatGPT, I said, find the top 15 average colors in this image, plot their relative percentages on a pie chart, make each segment the color represented, and label each color with a creative crown color that is memorable and brings that color to life. And so then what it does is it came up with its own instructions. Number 1, load the image and flatten it down to a list of RGB colors. Apply clustering using the k-means algorithm, for instance, to find the 15 most common colors. Calculate the relative percentages. Generate creative and memorable names for each color. Plot a pie chart. So it came up with its own instructions. I mean, I did it in English, but it sort of wrote them so it could understand it. And then it said, okay, first, loading the image and applying k-means clusters, blah, 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 blah. And that one failed. And then it says, I'm sorry, it took too long because that image was too big. But what I can do is I can downsample that image, and I'll downsample it. Now, what's behind these little boxes? If you open these up, it's Python code. It's loading libraries. It's writing code. It's running code. And then if it times out, it gives itself new instructions, and it does the next thing down. So this one downsampled the image. There it found the color clusters. Now it says, now let's generate creative and memorable names. And so it came up with the names and the relative percentages. And then I guess on the back end, it's got the actual RGB values or the hex values. Then I asked it to create the chart, and it screwed up once, and I asked it to create it again, and it screwed up again, and I asked it to create it a third time, and it did it. And so that's it with an image. You can also just upload a zip file full of CSVs, full of data, and it just knows what they are, and can analyze it and write charts about it. And so anyway, that's Code Interpreter. It's just mad nuts. It is cuckoo. Happy Saturday, everybody. Hope you're all doing well. Silver Fox. I asked Chat the exact question, and it gave me a learning path and job subscriptions or job suggestions. Which question? Ask Chat the exact question. I don't know which question you're talking about. We'll get back to it. I have prompt engineering on mine. Oh, on your LinkedIn. Got a job, data automation tech at $20 an hour. Keep talking about it. Keep putting it out there. $20 an hour seems low to me. But keep going. That's good. Like, yes, far out. Good for you. Keep going and keep knocking on doors, because as more and more companies start to hit the panic button and realize, oh shit, we got to figure this stuff out. Who knows about this? You know about that? I'll pay you double. That's going to start happening. That happened in the early days of the web. I had when it got really frothy, like a year or two before the .com bubble burst. Like this, like late '97, early '98. I had 3 different employees walk into my office and say, "Hey, I love working here, but I was out with drinks with some people I didn't know, and I talked about some idea I had about the web, and they funded me for $20 million. I had 3 people in 1 month quit because they got funded for like 10 or $20 million. So keep talking about it, keep putting it out there, and keep exploring. Like even if you got the job doing data automation tech or whatever that is, just keep learning, keep exploring, keep playing on the weekends. Just keep expanding your mind. Learn what this code interpreter can do. I can't get my head around it yet. It's too insane what it's doing. Like it's prompting itself, writing code, executing code, correcting it if it gets it wrong, and giving you a result. And then if the result's not right, you're like, "No, I don't like it." It's like, "Okay, here, I'll go again." It's like a golden retriever. It's like a coding golden retriever. Thank you for answering my question. I'm a junior cloud engineer. Been trying to use it for all I can. Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome, Jenna. Yeah, just, I mean, keep going. And the other thing I would encourage anyone, if you're sort of digging into it, use it in your specialty, use it in the stuff you're doing, but also start to explore the other tools, right? If you haven't done image generation, go play with Midjourney. If you're geeky, install Stable Diffusion and Automatic 1111. If you're a level geekier than that, start playing with LangChain and start doing your own embeddings and play with AutoGPT and Baby AGI and some of these autonomous agents things. Because again, the more you can get your head conceptually around all of what's happening, I think the better off all of us are going to be. So it's a good time to just geek out, just get, OCD and ADHD, tunnel vision, and whatever the fuck you do. If you're really, if you have executive function, unlike me, make a list, check it twice, and just, go down through the list and teach yourself a bunch of shit. If you're more on the ADD side of the thing, just fucking dick around. Dick around until you find a rabbit hole that you want to run down for 3 days, and then do that. Can I marry AI? What AI stocks you like? I just talked about a bunch of companies that I liked, so I would never take stock advice from me. I have a degree in acting, and I'm shitty with money, so don't take stock advice from me. All the stock shit I do it completely emotionally. Like data? Yeah. I mean, now that I have ChatGPT and Code Interpreter in particular, now what I might do is get emotionally hooked on some company, and then I'll actually go run the analysis, have it run the analysis, and just tell me, what I should know about it. But yeah, you can probably marry AI. I would be surprised if we don't see some sort of headline in the next 2 years where, someone applies for marriagehood to a bot. That's happening. Because, quite frankly, it probably goes, someone makes the news because they did it first, right? And then a bunch of people do it, and then it becomes a reality show, right? Isn't that America? Isn't that the way we go? Like the first person does it, like, you're a fucking freak. You can't marry a robot, dum-dum. And then 2 years later, we're like watching, Bot Love. The Bot Bachelor. Oh, I keep freezing? Shit. Should I restart? I might need to restart my router. Let me jump to the bottom here. Fear and greed control the market. AI is still young, has a long way to go, very young. Are you concerned with the safety of your data when you download from these AIs? Yes. Am I still freezing a lot? Fine now. Okay, not freezing for me. Great. Emilio's wife, sounds like it. You must have Comcast Xfinity too. It's the worst. But at least it's expensive. Okay, so I won't restart anything. All right, let me go back and find where I was in the questions. If you haven't been here before, I like to answer all the questions, so I get a little OCD about that, but API keys. Someone asked about API keys. Okay, so let me. I'll start at the. I'm going to try to keep this as non-geeky as possible. And the base definition of an API, it's called the application programming interface. So an API is basically a set of instructions that says, if you want to send something to my computer or want to pull something from my computer, here's the API. And what the API is, you can ask for, let's say that the computer holds movie reviews, right? And so the API might say, you can ask for movie title, number of reviews, average ratings, and the text of the reviews, or whatever it might be. And then, that's if you're asking things here. And then there might be another API that says you can submit a review, and you could submit a movie title, you could submit a review, you could submit, the rating, whatever it might be. So the API is just the set of instructions to say, if you want computer A to talk to computer B, that uses an API. The API key is basically your magic token, and I'll show you one in a second. Well, actually, I won't, because if I show it to you, let's see, do I have any old ones? Well, I can. You know what I'll do? Here, we'll go to ChatGPT. Hang on 1 second. All right. Create 10 fake API keys so I can see what they look like. Okay. So API keys tend to look like, you know how sometimes when you go to someone asks for a password and then your password software goes, do you want a strong password? And it makes some kind of random ass thing. They're kind of like that. So it's generally a hexadecimal string of numbers, and sometimes it's got a little letter and dash at the beginning of it, like OpenAI's I think have SK or something like that. And then it's just a big long list of numbers. This big long list of numbers is essentially the key that associates your account. So if let's say you want to do API calls to the OpenAI thing, you want to write a chatbot, and you want that chatbot to send shit to OpenAI and get back a response. Well, you put in your API key, and what the API key does is says securely, okay, this person has permission to use the OpenAI API, and then when one of their customers uses their application, we're going to pass that key along, and then we'll know that we're going to charge your account, 0.2 cents for every 1,000 tokens that customer uses. So it's literally your key to be able to use the API. So how you get it for OpenAI is you go to this thing called the Playground. So you go to platform.openai.com/playground. And this is where you do your prompt engineering. You can choose different models. Like you can choose, I now have access to GPT-4. Woohoo! So does everyone. I'm not special. I've got GPT 3.5 Turbo 16K and 3.5 Turbo. They all have different pricing and things like that. You can read it in the documentation. But then you go to your account and you say View API Keys. And it automatically doesn't display the full thing here, but basically you say create a new key, and then it gives you the key and you copy and paste that. And then, for example, where you might use that is, let's go to Zapier. Oops. It's like I'm going to Zapier, but not. Come on. Internet is slow tonight. So what Zapier is you've got these little automations that you make out of these kind of Lego blocks. And I'll show you one I did. This is one I did the other day as an example. But so here's a Google form. So basically when someone inputs things into a Google form, it's going to take the input from that Google form, and then I'm going to send it out to OpenAI. And I've got a prompt in here. If I look at the thing, here's my prompt, right? So I want you to use the following variables, and then I've got a variable there, and then I've got a prompt. Write a poem about a funny colored animal in the style of Edgar Allan Poe. So this is going to get sent to OpenAI. When I first set this up with my account, it asks me for my OpenAI key, or the API key. So now that I've established it, I don't have to put it in anymore. But when you first do this and connect your account to it, it's going to say, where's your API key? And then you will have copied that to your clipboard, and then you paste that into your thing, and then you're off to the races. So, hope that helps. I mean, here's the good news. The good news is we're early, and if you want to do things like automations with Zapier, you kind of need to know what an API key is, but you don't need to get much more geeky than that. Code Interpreter, I feel pretty fucking stupid right now with Code Interpreter because I don't know shit about data analytics, and it's really good for that. But there's going to be all sorts of things it's good for. Like people are just now starting to talk about examples other than the examples we've heard about for the last 2 months. Like all the examples have been the same. I'm starting to see some new ones crop up, but I feel like in the next month or two, as I get my head around it, like I'll be able to share more about it because it's so powerful. There's probably so much it can do I can't even comprehend right now. I mean, I know it is. So anyway, I don't know. That's what's going on. So so here's the thing. The thing about these technologies is, even though ChatGPT is this simple Google-like thing, where it's like, well, it's actually really simple. Well, it's actually not. Chat.openai.com, ChatGPT is a simple interface sitting on top of decades of, deep computer science and deep engineering. And all of this stuff is evolving in real time. And it's incredibly powerful stuff. So in the current state of the generative AI world, if you're not coming at it from the technology side, if you're coming at it from like the end user side, you're a project manager, you're an art director, you're a copywriter, you're whatever, all that sort of stuff. You're going to need to get a little geeky right now to get good with it. Like if you really want to start to do things like automations and things like that. But if you wait for a year, it's going to get easier and easier and easier, right? These things are ultimately going to turn into our agents. They're going to be like little personal assistants we have. We're just like, hey, Sally, why don't you go, fire up, these emails and then go order my groceries and come up with a recipe for tonight and then it'll run off and do that shit. But right now, we kind of have to all build that stuff ourselves. The Bills should use AI. Could they win Super Bowl? That's funny. What do you feel are the most impactful AI startups? Talked about that. Celine bugs me too. Whitney gets my vote as well. Yes, Whitney's it. All right. How to build an app, no code experience. So I just kind of showed that. The way Zapier works is there's three things you need to know with Zapier. There's an input, and then you sort of do something with the input, and then there's an output. It can get way more sophisticated than that, but that's the basic concept. And they call the input a trigger. And so the trigger is something like a new row gets added to a spreadsheet, or a new document is uploaded into a folder, or somebody fills out a Google form that you created. So the content generation engines that I've been doing are I'm using Google Forms. So I'll create a Google form that'll have a couple of inputs. I then go into Zapier and I say, okay, I'm going to connect it to that form. And when someone puts in new data in that form, I want that to act as a trigger. You're going to take those inputs from that form. I incorporate them into a prompt that gets sent with the OpenAI little Lego block from Zapier. That gets sent to OpenAI. I get back the response, and then I put it in an email or I send it to a Slack channel or something like that. So just at its most basic, there's an input, you process it, and in this case, send that stuff off to OpenAI. You can do lots of things in there, but that's what I've been doing lately. And then you do something with it. You save it to a drive, you add a row to a spreadsheet, you put it in an email, something like that. There's lots of no-code tools. Here's the deal with no-code tools. While they're no-code, they're not no complexity. They tend to be, they're conceptually as complicated as coding is, because you still need to think about the logic. Okay, I need these inputs. Do I have someone fill in a spreadsheet? Do I have them post something to a Slack channel? Do I create a form? Is it going to be an input on my website? Is it something coming out of Salesforce? It could be all those, right? So you got to think logically and critically, and then you think, okay, now that I've got the starting point, what's the prompt that I'm going to write, and how am I going to incorporate that data into that prompt? That's a whole nother sort of logical fucking crazy straw you got to go through. And then okay, now that I got OpenAI responding with some sort of response, and it does it, I got the response I want, cool, awesome. Now what am I doing with it? How do I get it back to the person? Or do I get it back to the person? All that sort of stuff. If you look at what Code Interpreter's doing, this new thing, it's doing a lot of that logical thinking. You're just kind of giving it a goal, and then it goes and does some shit. Now, Zapier just added a large language model input where you can just describe the automation you want, and it will attempt to build you that little Lego block thing. I find that harder than just doing it, but that's probably just because I started doing it. The tools that I know of that are worth looking at, Zapier's been around for I think 10 years now. They're pretty good, but it's janky. There's one called Make, M-A-K-E, that's like Zapier, but it's kind of got a slicker interface, and it seems like it might be a bit more modern in terms of its structure, but I don't know. And then if you want to do apps, there's one called Bubble, and then there's a couple of others people have mentioned in the live here. But I would just, go to Reddit or go to Twitter and look up no-code tools and just find one that doesn't suck and doesn't make your head explode. Definitely not a robot. I'm here for the wine. Exactly. I should go get actually, there's a bottle of wine out. My kids had some wine tonight. Maybe I'll get a wine. Why not? Why not? Get it, wine? Why not? All right. It was like a dad joke, but I have enough self-awareness to know that it was a stupid dad joke, so I made fun of myself making a dad joke. Get it? What AI can summarize audio files? Summarize. So Whisper. So if you go, I was showing before. Let me switch my. Good Playground. So if you're at OpenAI's Playground, so again, the URL for this is platform.openai.com/playground. And if you come here and you go to the complete mode, in the upper right-hand corner of this window is a little microphone. And if you click on that, that's Whisper, which is OpenAI's audio transcription. You can upload a video or an MP3 or a web audio. And or you can just record stuff, and it will take that audio and transcribe it for you. You can also do that via the API. So you could probably do audio transcription through Zapier. There are also lots and lots of tools where they put it in a sort of easier front end. If you go to futurepedia.io, just look up transcription or audio or things like that. There are probably I would be surprised if there were less than 100 tools in futurepedia.io that do that. I tried uploading audio file and it couldn't summarize it. If it's too big, you may need to break it into chunks. That's again where I'd go to futurepedia.io and look for ones that say you can upload up to 2 hours of a file, right? So there's lots of things out there that you can use. The OpenAI's Whisper is really, really good, but even in the playground, it's limited to a certain length, so you may need to chunk it up. But that should help. All right. I don't know. I tried to use it for C# and it failed a lot. Then it comes to, file to file reference. Not quite sure what you're talking about there. Yeah, depending on what you're trying to do, GPT can be a mess with programming. I would say if you're trying to do serious coding stuff, I'd go to GitHub and use Copilot because it's specially designed for coding. So, is Code Interpreter available through the OpenAI API? I don't know where's the bottom. I don't think so, but I don't know. Like I didn't dig into that today. That's a question that I have as well. I assume it will be, but I don't know. So it should be. Are all plugins accessible through the API? I don't think so. I don't think they are right now. The plugins right now are a little janky. You can make your own plugin. So wait, if you can make your own plugin, you're interacting with the API, so they probably are. I don't know. I don't fucking know. But you now have function calling within the API, right? Within the OpenAI API, so you can kind of write your own plugin function calls, plugin-like function calls within the code. I haven't needed to, and so because of that, I haven't dug into that part of the world. But if you find out, let me know. That would be good to know. I don't have Code Interpreter yet, Lesai. Oh, that sucks. I just tout you. Did you just Kavruno? I assume you've gone to your settings to your beta features and enabled it. If you haven't, go do that. How I could work in AI. I don't know what you mean, Silver Fox. How can you get a job? I don't know. Start learning it. Start talking about it. Would there be some time when AI helped network security? Yeah. Mm-hmm. and there's also a time when AI gonna attack network security. There's gonna be all sorts of new, white hat and black hat battles going on where people are using AI increasingly to exploit vulnerabilities, and then other people are going to be using AI to catch the bad guys, and they're going to be able to catch the bad guys in increasingly sophisticated ways. So, yeah, that's coming. Do me a favor. We're kind of dwindling down here. If you would, just hit the... I know it's been a little boring here for a section. We've been geeking out a little bit. But just hit tap the screen, get some likes going, and if you would, share the live so we can just let some people know we're here. That would be great. Are you concerned with safety of your data with the download of these AIs? Yes. So I wouldn't put anything super critical in there. I'm not super worried about it, for me personally, but I do my company does a lot of work with pharma clients, and they're, appropriately anal about their safety and privacy and things like that. So anything we're doing for clients, we're going to be creating, standalone servers and firewalls and all that sort of shit. So, if you need to do proprietary kind of stuff and it's actually super critical, then you need to look into that. Go look at Microsoft Azure, like how they've incorporated OpenAI calls and the options they have for like stability. OpenAI announced 3 months ago that they've got these business servers that you can buy that I think they start at like $25,000 and go up to $1 million, where you can have your own standalone instances of OpenAI servers. So Thank you for all the hearts. Appreciate that. Yeah, AI is still young. We have a long way to go. Totally, Ryan. It is. We are in such early days. If you're feeling at all like I'm behind, I can't. All these people know more than I do. It's just I can't. I can't right now because I don't know anything. Nobody fucking knows anything. If you know the engineers, the people on the science side of this, there's lots of people that know shit there. But on the post chat GPT side of this, where people are now incorporating this into their businesses, this is brand new for fucking everyone. Like even the people on the data science side of this. I was watching more of the interview with George Hotz, who's the comma AI guy and super smart programmer. He said the difference between how he was using AI 5 years ago and what's happened in the past 6 months, he said it's not anywhere in the same ballpark of how he thinks about computing anymore. It's a completely different thing. So all this generative AI stuff, the ChatGPT stuff, and the large language models, this idea of all the stuff, the image generation things, and people reading brain scans, and music being written, and songs that sound like this artist and that. All this shit is new. All of it's new, and it's the popular press has heard about it, has been talking about it for the last 6 months since November 30th. But it's really only been, this stuff's been kind of in the ether for maybe a year and a half, maybe two at tops. We're very, very new, and this stuff is transformative. Fear and greed control the market. I would agree with that, but this channel exists to inject a little optimism in the middle of that fear and greed. So fuck those fuckers. Don't be scared. AI can be your friend. I've got a bot, and his name is Charlie. Charlie makes me nice stories and pretty pictures. A bot is probably more emotionally intelligent than all the broken toys on Hinge. That's fucking genius. I'm telling you, man. What's cool about the bots is that the ChatGPT things is you can ask them questions about really sensitive topics, especially in today's environment, and it doesn't get triggered. It just responds with like a balanced answer, like just with like nuance and like, well, here's an opportunity or here's an option and here's an option and it's just way more nuanced. And it's way more like these language models talk with just a shit ton more empathetic response, because they don't have empathy, but they respond more empathetically than almost all humans. So the botular, that's good. Not freezing for me. Fine now. Okay, great. Not freezing for me. This is the freezing stuff. Trying to find my thing. Where was I? Oh, there's the fear and greed. Fear and loathing in Las Vegas. Did y'all see the fucking Sphere in Las Vegas? That new venue with like the LED outside of it? Holy shit, is that thing amazing. It's crazy. Like, I saw one picture of someone driving down the Las Vegas Strip, and the Sphere was like at the end of the road. It looked like the moon rising, but it was like an eye blinking. It was like fucking trippy, man. And tokens are okay. Tokens, good question. So this is painful. It's like, why do they call it code interpreter? Because that's the technical name of what it's doing, is code interpreting. It's a shitty marketing name, and so are tokens. Okay, so tokens are thank you for that. How do I describe it? Okay, when you type a prompt, that prompt gets turned into numbers, and then those numbers are sort of put into this big fancy ass mathematical formula that then determines the next most probable number, called a vector, and then that vector is associated with a word. So all of the shit going on behind the scenes with ChatGPT are vector addresses. They're basically these long strings of numbers. And so tokens are, you know, those vector calls basically. And I think spaces and words or parts of words all end up being tokens. So how they charge, someone before was asking about APIs, the OpenAI APIs. How they charge for the API is for every 1,000 tokens, you get charged 2 pennies or a tenth of a penny or whatever the hell it is. That's just their definition of the chunk that they're sending. But it actually translates into, like, for us as humans, if you've got 1,000 tokens that are being sent, that actually translates, it's about 3/4 the amount of words. So 75 or 750 words is about 1,000 tokens. So it's not a direct thing. And why they don't just call it words? Well, because they're engineers and scientists, and they're called tokens, and the token is the mathematical thing, right? So that's what. So tokens are basically just kind of your word count. And so ChatGPT right now has a token limit of 4,000 tokens, or about 3,000 words, 3/4 of the amount. So what that means is you've kind of got this window of 3,000 words that as you're typing into ChatGPT, that's its context window. So that amount is essentially what's being used to determine the answer. And that's why sometimes if you have a long conversation with ChatGPT, it seems like you started out, you told it about your lovely wedding, and then it seems, 10 minutes into the conversation, it doesn't seem to have any fucking clue about the wedding anymore. That's because the wedding part, drifted out of the context window. So that context window is growing. Some of the API things for OpenAI right now are 16,000 tokens, which is 12,000 words. So that's starting to be better. And then ultimately GPT-4 can do 32,000 tokens, which is about 25,000 words. And if you go to Poe.com, that one right there, there's one of the Claude models that you can actually use has a 100,000 token limit, and that's 75,000 words. And it's 75,000 words is the combination of your prompt and the response. It's got a big token window. So you could literally paste a whole screenplay or a whole novel in there and start interacting with it, right? But you can't with ChatGPT because it's got a much smaller token context window. So that's what tokens are. Tokens are what you're charged. Yes, tokens are what you're charged, and they are loosely related to the amount of words you can use. It's complicated so here's the deal. All of this stuff we will not need to learn about 2 years from now. This stuff's going to all drift into the background. The reason it's all in the foreground right now is because we're early, right? And so if you want to play with this stuff, you kind of got to get a little geeky, got to understand what tokens are. You think when Apple launches their AI agents, they're going to mention anything remotely like fucking tokens? Nope. The developers might need to deal with terms like that, but none of the tools will be like this for long. So no need for court reporters. Either no need for them, or I think one of the areas that where I think America has been hurt the most in the past, I guess it's been happening for about a decade, but the lack of local news, local reporters, because all these national conglomerates bought up all of the local stations and basically just gutted the newsrooms. You don't have local reporting anymore. A lot of what the local reporting was reporting on public documents and, their, permits and, the building they're going to build and the bridge they're going to do, and are they going to fix this and are they going to fix that, and how they're changing streets and when are they doing the water mains. So a lot of that reporting's not getting done, but a lot of that reporting could be automated with these tools. Because if you got access to the public records, you could write prompts that parse those public records and write stories and get the word out, right? So I think it's a double-edged sword. You might not need court reporters, but you might be able to dramatically increase court reporting and local reporting and things like that. All right, C sharp, like using program code to run from other file, the main file, and using other file for info. How? Um, I don't quite understand your question. I'm also not an engineer, so I'm not the right person to ask. The right person to ask, if you don't have a engineer buddy, is right there. So instead of just having ChatGPT try to do the coding, have ChatGPT tell ChatGPT to act like a senior C sharp engineer, and see if you can get it to tell you how to use it to do that. Because I'm sure it knows. This might just be a sequencing thing. If you can get it to tell you how it would do something in a step-by-step fashion, and then have it start to do that for you, that might help. It might need that context first. It's one of the things about these tools is they don't do well with sparse instructions. If you just say, write me a poem, it's going to write a really generic poem. If you tell it you want it to, act like Emily Dickinson and, it's a master of her works and her tone and her this and her that, and then you ask it to write a poem, it's going to be, much more what you're looking for. So it's no different than the programming stuff. I got it yesterday. Are there rumors that Bing AI will have plugins? This would be a game changer against OpenAI. It's not going to be against OpenAI because so Bing is from Microsoft. They have already announced, it's not a rumor, they've already announced they're going to support the OpenAI plugin architecture. That means ChatGPT plugins will work in Bing, and they're going to work in all of Microsoft's Office, Windows 11, Dynamics 365, GitHub Copilot, all of the Azure cloud services. Microsoft invested $10 billion in OpenAI. So even though they may have competitive products, like there's some stuff that OpenAI is looking to do that may be competitive with some of the applications that Microsoft is doing, they call it in the business world co-opetition. There might be some areas where they compete, and there's going to be other areas where they're deeply, deeply cooperating. So that's where they are right now. So yes, Bing will support plugins, and it is going to support OpenAI plugins. They're trying to make it a standard, I assume. And the way, if you look at the nature of how the plugins are created, they're very, very it's a very, very simple protocol. So it would be a good standard for lots of people to adopt. They're very easy to write. They're very easy to call. You're basically just describing, here's what this plugin does, and here's when you would use it. And then that's what ChatGPT uses to determine, should I use a plugin here or can I just answer this? So, yeah. How to use some object or function in a file. Again, I don't know the function calling stuff. I haven't gotten into that yet, and I probably won't. That's a level deeper than my pay grade and my knowledge. So just using Code Interpreter right now is sort of bouncing up the upper limits of my intellect. It's making me feel like a fucking idiot. It was funny. I saw that on Reddit today. Someone put on Reddit, does anyone else feel, immediately stupid again? I'm like, yes. I was answering something from a long time ago. Okay, Silver Fox, cool. Y'all hiring? Nope, sorry. Wish we were. We're stable, as they say. Which stable's better than laying people off, right? Where's the bottom? I got a bottom for you right here. Name's Buck. That's my bottom. A bot is... Oh. Okay. Hang on. I lost my place again. Old man trying to read little text on TikTok. It's the tickety-tock. I am playing on a tickety-tock. Oh, wait. Now I'm way far behind. Or, back where I was. Whatever. I'm still lost. Hang on. I saw them building it in February, the Vegas Sphere Eyeball. That thing's cool. I mean, I was thinking about that, like the AI, like the generative AI stuff and the generative video stuff, they're gonna be able to come up with a generative AI thing to just dynamically generate stuff for that sphere. Like it's just gonna be insane. It's so cool, and apparently the inside of it's gonna be even better. I think a word is a token, but so is each punctuation mark. Yeah, it's something like that. But I think longer words, they even break up into multiple tokens. It's whatever. Like it doesn't really fucking matter for real people. Like it matters for engineers, right? Because they need to, like, for them a token is a token, and they're doing whatever they're doing with the token. Certain tokens are getting thrown out. Other tokens are creating probabilities of semantic weightings or whatever. I don't fucking know, but it's basically 3/4, however many tokens it is. 3/4 of that is about how many words it is, but it ain't exact. The cost depends on the model you're using. Yeah, the GPT 3.5 models now are super super cheap. GPT 4 is more, embedding is more, but that also came down in price. Kyle's saying words though. I am saying words. What'd you do Saturday night? I watched some old guy say words. What did he say? I don't really know. I don't know. He seemed to enjoy himself. What am I doing with my life? What am I doing? I need a drink. All right. Should I go get a wine? I think I should go get a wine. Yes, it's so true. I was a small town newspaper reporter for 6 years, right? Holy shit. Like all these national fucking private equity assholes that came in and just fucking decimated local reporting and local news and local journalism. It's like, fuck. It just feels like there should be some boundaries in fucking society where you're like, that's not for profit. You can make a profit, but it's not its sole purpose. There should be laws, but we would need to have a functioning legislature to have those, wouldn't we? Bitter? You betcha. All right. Automating public interest stories could be awesome. Yeah, I know. I feel like that's a business. That's a business. You want to go start a business? I've been giving out free business launching advice. That's one. Go start the local news bot business. Business. Again, I've never stopped feeling stupid. I know, me too. I feel like, oh, I know everything, and then I go to try to do something and I fail miserably. And I don't even know where to start. What do I do? Fuck. It's been like that for I don't know, it's like a year now. It's like I even feel like on these lives sometimes I'm like am I actually, is anything progressing, or am I just saying the same shit over and over again? And then I realize well, some people are still just starting, but also the fact that code interpreters here now, that's going to completely change how I use ChatGPT. I don't know how yet, but it is. And then things like they took away browse with Bing, and then I saw on Twitter today someone else said, oh, they also took away plugins, but they didn't for me. So this stuff is just changing so much that I think it's just I think the thing for all of us to do, if you're willing to do it, is just think of it as an adventure. Like we're on a fucking adventure. And what are adventures? Well, they're super exciting. What else are adventures? They're super fucking challenging. Okay, what else are adventures? Sometimes they're really scary, right? Sometimes they're really fun. But you're committed to it, right? We're going to get the Grail. We're going to storm the castle, right? Whatever the fucking adventure is, we're going to go kill the dragon. I think that's the mentality we have to be on for at least 2 years, because it's just, the stuff's moving too fast, and it's just, the changes are going to be so profound that I don't know, like the people that were asking earlier about, well, what job can I get and how do I get a job and where do I get a job? I don't know. I don't know. Like, I feel like the thing that's going to be super in demand in the next 6 months is going to be either non-existent or just a completely different set of requirements 6 months out. It's crazy. It's crazy, I tell you. My head hurts. Welcome, welcome to the adventure. I know. My head has been I'm just bursting at the seams educationally. I feel stupid every day. I feel like I'm in a constant state of, it's not quite anxiety and it's not quite shame, but it's just that, like, that thing where you know you're not good at something, but you really want to be good at it. And with this stuff, it's like, I feel not good at it. I really want to be good at it. I'm getting better, but I'm not really good. Like, I don't know. It's hard right now. It's hard. Kyle's saying words versus characters vis-a-vis tokens. Yes, correct, Thelonious. Thelonious Monk! You are correct, sir. Sir, you are a call to action. Field trip buddy, indeed. This is your call to action, people. Get on your steed and head into the deep, deep, dark forest. The one that shall never be spake. Take your fucking swords. Go to ChatGPT. Get Code Interpreter. Or go make a bot at Poe. Or go... Fucking doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. I mean, it matters deeply and profoundly, but what you do doesn't matter. And, we were talking about this with the AI Salon. I've got this thing called the AI Salon that if you want to hang out with a bunch of adventurers... come join us. Go to that URL, thesalon.ai. And we were talking about what is it about this group that we like. We've been around for 6 months. It's a really cool. People are generous. They're curious. They share what they know. They want to keep learning. What is it about them? And what we came up with was this idea that we're all on an adventure. And like in a good adventure, you have people with all different skills, right? Like you have the big dumb asshole muscle guy who turns out to have a heart of gold, and you've got the really mousy person that is not, doesn't seem to have any skills, and then they get into like an escape room and she's brilliant at cracking the code, right? Like you have all these archetypes, right? And I feel like that's where we need to be right now, is like the more we can connect and find our little group of adventurers to kind of go out and do this with. So rather than me having to become an engineer, like, why don't I pal up with someone who's really good at engineering and they can do some of that shit and do it really well. And then I can do the shit I do really well, and someone else can do the stuff they do really well. And together you can kind of learn this stuff and at least learn what's possible with it. That's where my head is lately. Find your adventurers. Get on the adventure. Get on the horse. Go. Go, go, go. Go, 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 go. Is it scary? Yes. Is it worth killing the dragon? Well, fuck yes. Because if we don't, the dragon's going to kill the village. Right? Someone's got to kill the dragon. But that seems scary. Yeah. Is it scarier than the dragon coming and eating the village? I don't know why I went to, fantasy metaphor, but I think that's where we are. Speaking of the legislature, wait, where'd that go? Oh, here we go. What do you anticipate will be the first proposed legislation around AI? Oh, fuck. I don't know. If they do as if they do as my cynical self expects them to, they'll ban it. But I think I think the Biden administration is actually taking it seriously. I think it'll probably be something around companies like OpenAI and Google, like just some sort of legislation around regulations around what they're allowed to do, what some boundaries around what's called alignment, which is how aligned are these powerful models with the goals of the human race. So I think they'll probably do some regulations like if you're a company with as much resources as Google or OpenAI or Microsoft or Meta, you can't make the evil bot that's going to kill us all, right? Like it'll probably be something around that. I don't know. Our government right now, they don't understand what fucking Wi-Fi is, and they're just not functioning as a government right now. They're just functioning as a money-raising machine that's polarizing all of us, so we don't pay attention to the grifting that's going on. And I think that this AI stuff actually requires good, bipartisan, functional government to learn about it, learn what it does well, learn how it can be a competitive advantage for our country and for the world, and get their fucking heads around it, get their heads out of the fucking petty bullshit that's going on. Do I have much hope that that's going to happen? No, I don't. Do I have deep hopes that something will shift? Yeah, I do. And it's also, I think it's why I'm doing these lives. Because I don't think we can wait for government. What can they fucking do? Like the open source large language models have no safety restrictions on them and are already almost as powerful as the stuff that OpenAI and Google have produced. So that shit ain't going to be legislated. And then Europe's going to do their AI legislation and America's going to do their AI legislation. But everyone else in the world is just going to keep rolling ahead forward. So if either the EU or the US make it too restrictive, they're going to absolutely kill innovation, and the rest of the world is going to kind of subsume all the models, right? And the momentum. And they're going to do whatever they're going to fucking do. So it's like, I think that it's really important for us as individuals to start using these tools in ways that bend it toward the light. It's the only way I can think about it, right? Go do the adventure. We got to go kill the dragon. But I don't know how to kill dragons. It doesn't if we don't kill the dragon, the regulators or someone or China or whoever, something's going to happen, right? So it's on all of us to start learning these tools, get AI literate, and start putting shit in the world that is bending it toward the good. I think that's going to I think it's going to make a difference. It at least lets me sleep at night, right? Because I understand it as much as I can, and I'm doing what I can to get the word out about it. And that's why this is here. So I know it's very philosophical tonight. Dragons and so many business ideas. There are business ideas. In August, I'm going to see my 87-year-old mom. I'm going to introduce her to ChatGPT and watch her head explode. That's fucking awesome. I know. It's one of my great joys in life is showing people that either have no clue what it is or are sort of cocky but dismissive. Yeah, I've played with ChatGPT. And then you actually show them what it can do, and they're like, it can do that? Really? Could it do my shit? Uh-huh. Want to see? Not really. Here, look. It's fucking the best. Because it's like you can't go, like, once you once you have that epiphany about this shit, like, I don't think you can't go back. You can't unlearn what it does, what it makes possible. But that's going to be awesome. Have fun with that. Who has time for a job? We've got 3 hours of the AI learning lab every night. Exactly. I know. I feel the same way. This is my job. I figured out where to go look at my balance for all my earnings. I have earned $24.32 so far doing these lives. I can't take it out until it hits 100, but so this is my job. If on an hourly basis, I think I'm making like 3.8 cents. Thelonious, you're evil. Can you make a video, showing this stuff to your mom? It would actually make a good TikTok. Learning never ends. Exactly. My mom is going to sus sites. She keeps hitting links that shuts her PC down. Yeah, that's rough. That's when she calls. Exactly. Control Alt Delete, Mom. Exactly. Oh, that's hilarious. Bow. Okay. The Salam.ai. Yes, that is the correct URL. It should go to a link tree. And then maybe just do HTTP instead of HTTPS. I probably set up the site wrong or something like that if it's not going there. But that's the correct URL. And we've got there's a meetup there, so we meet every other week on a Google Meet and in person here in Denver. And then we've got a Discord where you can play with Midjourney and ask questions and hang out. And then we've got a LinkedIn group, which isn't as active, but it's just a different kind of group. Do you think we can use our GPU to provide computing power for AI just like Bitcoin mining? Yeah, sure. If you've got like a 3090, if you're on a PC, I'm a Mac guy, so if you've got a decent GPU, yeah, that can be used for this kind of stuff. And it's, if you want to use anything big, like a 65 billion parameter model, you need big iron. Like George Hotz, the guy from Comma, he started a company called Tiny Corp, and they're creating a computer called Tiny Box, which is going to be a $15,000 machine learning computer that's got like 6 GPUs in it and like just massive throughput and processing power and I don't know, some stupid amount of gigabytes of, GPU RAM and shit like that. And that'll be able to run big models. But if you've got a single one, you can like go to Reddit and Twitter and just start geeking out on open source LLMs, like the 7 billion parameter models, and they've got a bunch of them that have come out. It's like every 3 days they've got a new model. I don't keep up with them anymore. But a lot of those can be installed on local machines. Like I know they've got some models now you can install on M1 Max, and then M2 Max are apparently doing really good with this stuff. And then there's other ones that you can install on PCs. The CEO of Stability AI says he thinks that by the end of next year, so by the end of 2024, we'll have GPT-4 level large language models that you can install on your phone that don't need an internet connection. So these things are like very powerful tools you're going to be able to install locally. So yeah, if you've got a GPU, you can do that. And you can start playing around with embeddings and all sorts of crazy shit if you want to geek out. I've been playing with Code Interpreter today for my restaurant, and it's brilliant. Oh, Silver Fox, tell me more. Like what are some of the things you've done? That sounds really cool. Then there'll be those of us still secretly using it. Yes, well, that goes back to that Ethan Mollick thing, the secret cyborgs. I think there's going to be a lot of people that use these tools, certainly short term, for like the next 2 years, where your friends just seem to get a little bit more productive. And the big secret is, are you using ChatGPT for all this? No, how dare you? Can't legislate AI anymore than you can with encryption. I know, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Like that's where I come back to. Like it comes back to. The more people that get AI literate, the more it's going to help us stabilize its direction. If we wait for government to do it, they're just going to fuck it up and they're going to take too long. This stuff's moving too fast. So I think it's on us. Get on your steed, strap on the sword, head to the forest. Oh, you're an archer? Fine, bring your bow. I like hammers. You too, Thor. You can bring your hammer. Ba-da-ba-ba, ba-da-ba-ba. All right, Silver Fox. It looks like everyone wants to know what's going on with your restaurant. How are you using it for your restaurant? We want to know. Curious minds want to know. What's the best AI bot you suggest for trading stocks? The ones that I have on screen for the entire 3 hours a night. And if you're asking me, is OpenAI paying you to do this? No, but they should be. Go there. Okay, two things. If you want to find a trading specific AI tool, there's probably a bunch of them at futurepedia.io. Almost all of them are probably pieces of steaming fresh shit that look pretty because they used Midjourney to make the images. There are probably some there, but ChatGPT, especially with Code Interpreter now, you can upload piles of financial data and have it help you with the trading stuff, teach you. But I don't know where you are in your education. If you're clueless, it can teach you. If you're really sophisticated, it can help you write bots and could do all sorts of crazy shit. So for me, I would be learning how to do it myself at chat.openai.com rather than paying someone 20 or 30 or 50 bucks a month for their glorified prompt sitting on top of ChatGPT, because that's all those things are going to be, with some minor exceptions. So let's say there's 4,000 tools at Futurepedia. There's going to be 400 that are mind-blowing real companies with really cool technology built on top of this shit, and or have their own technology. And then there's going to be, what's left, 3,600 that are just steaming piles of shit. It's probably going to be 10%. That's probably being generous. We have to identify the dragons first, don't we? Yeah, we do. I mean, or we just need to know that we keep hearing rumblings in the darkness of the woods, and we are pretty sure those are dragons. We don't even know if they're dragons or what they are yet. I agree with that. The guardrails scare me. Information control. Well, Beer Hunter, I know. That's a good conspiracy theory, skeptical place to start. If you listen to Sam Altman talk, he's very thoughtful about it. I would get thoughtful about this stuff because it's easy to demonize a single company and say, well, Sam Altman this and Sam Altman that, and Elon Musk this and Elon Musk that, and Mark Zuckerberg this and Mark Zuckerberg that. There's a whole open source community out there building these models with no safety guardrails on them. And it wouldn't surprise me at all that within the next year, one of those non-guardrailed models, someone's going to use it to do some awful shit. So it's not like we need to be talking about and thinking about safety and alignment. And when we're talking about alignment with these large language models, it's basically as these tools get more capable and they exceed our intellect, are they aligned with human values? That's what, when they talk about alignment, that's what they're talking about. So the guardrails are really just these big organizations that have the money to do incredibly powerful tools, looking at how do we keep these things in line with human values? Because if they get too far apart, that's when you get into the sci-fi dystopian scenarios. So it's fine to be cynical that, oh, the man is gonna suppress all of us, and we need to be thinking about these issues. 3 cents an hour. I know. I got to 3.8 in my head, so I guess I'm okay at math. All right. He's approaching the end again, people. Ask more questions. You're awesome. That's it. If I get to the end, it's over. You know that, right? So, we got a nice tight crew in here. Normally, we have a few more, so I'm normally way behind on the questions, but I'm getting toward the end. I love that you guys are talking to each other. PC versus Mac for using ChatGPT. Well, for ChatGPT, it doesn't fucking matter because you're using Microsoft servers. You're using Microsoft Azure. Every time you go to ChatGPT, you could run ChatGPT. You can run it on your phone. It runs great on your phone because all of the compute's happening out there. If you're talking about if I'm going to install a large language model locally, what's better, a PC or a Mac? I don't know. I think that it looks like the M2 Macs they're getting some pretty impressive performance out of it. And if you paid attention to the Vision Pro announcement from Apple, the R1 chip, so you have two chips over your eyes in those goggles. One is an M2 chip, which is an incredibly capable processor. The other one's called an R1 chip. And that's doing all the machine learning processing from all the sensors. So they now have their own silicon that's just doing machine learning processing. So I think long-term, Apple's going to be amazing. But if you want the thing George Hotz is building, like a 6 GPU monster machine, you're going to want a PC. So it depends on what your goals are. I think just sort of out of the box computing, Apple's going to be amazing at this. But PCs are obviously way more scalable and way more flexible. I gave it my menus. It broke them down by ingredients. Oh, that's cool. I had it make new recipes. Oh my God. That's so cool. Were they good? Now to work it all out before someone else does. That's super cool. Wow. Huh. It's just that's the thing about Code Interpreter. It's like the fact that I can upload an image and it can process data from the image. This is something, I don't know if you know this. So I went to go get data sources, and sometimes you'll get I downloaded all my LinkedIn data because I thought it might be fun to go process my LinkedIn data and see what I can do with it. So your LinkedIn data, it doesn't come down as a single spreadsheet. It comes down as a bunch of individual CSV files that are all individual. And so I was trying to figure out, well, how do I get them into a workbook, and can I do that automatically? And it was all just not fun. And then it turns out you can upload a zip file. You can upload a compressed file that has 100 different CSVs in it, and it will write the code to unzip the file. It'll read all of the CSVs and then talk about them in context. So you can upload multiple files to Code Interpreter by putting it in a zip file. And and then Ethan Mollick did a thing where he uploaded a spreadsheet that had prompts in one of the. It had prompts in the first row, and then his command was something like take the prompts in each of the cells in the first row and write the second row, and then write the. So he basically uploaded an empty Excel file, and Code Interpreter filled in the Excel file based on his prompt, and then gave him a link to download it back. So he's doing. I don't really have a clue what to do with it yet, but it seems like it's like a Swiss Army knife that you can do almost anything. Now it's only in Python, so I'm sure there's libraries that it doesn't have access. I'm sure it's a little walled garden right now, but just conceptually, what it's doing when they start expanding that out to all the programming languages and to all the libraries and figure out where the safety boundaries are within it, it's just insane. Don't even bother with stocks. Aladdin has that covered. There you go. Somebody knows. I don't know shit about investing, so here's the other thing about AI. We're talking about this AI stuff like it's only been around for 6 months. It's been around for like 3 decades, and like the stock trading AI stuff's been around for at least a decade, probably more than that, because those guys are on it. Stock traders are the ones that like run their own fiber, because if they can get something 3 microseconds faster than the other guy, they can make money. So they're on top of this shit. But if you're talking about sort of consumer grade level tools, if Aladdin's a good one, that's great. My mom asked me to call her home insurer. ChatGPT gave me a list of questions for the insurance agent. Oh, this is one of the things that I'm most excited about is the ability for all of us, for the every man, the every woman, to fuck with the machine, right? To be able to call United Healthcare and say, well, based on the policy, here are your rules, and here are the things it says you should cover. Well, normally people don't read that part of the documentation. Well, I did. Well, ChatGPT did. But, here's my prepared statement. Would you like to talk to my lawyer? No. Well, we'll just settle it. You know what? That's covered now. We're going to get to do that soon. We're going to get to fuck with people. I like that. I got a mosquito bite right on my elbow. Look at that, little fucker. What, in Florida now they have malaria? Did you hear this? The fuck is happening? It's like, God damn it. How high the moon? Let's see. Bum bum bum. Psh, bum bum bum. How high is the moon? Well, I think it's obvious. 384,400 kilometers. Or obviously, 238,900 miles. Everybody knows that. The measurement is taken from the center of the Earth to the moon. I'm going to ask, does it change depending on the orbit cycle, or is it perfectly circular? It's not perfectly circular. Ha! So at perigee, which I assume is the narrowest, yes, 225,000 miles. At the apogee, 251. There you go. See? There's ChatGPT for you, making us all a good scientist. I can mansplain even better now. It seems like he knows a lot. What's that earbud? He's not listening to anything with that, is he? There's a good application. Just have a little earbud that gives you dating advice. You're on like your first date and it's telling you what to say so you don't look like a schlub. That would be pretty good. What's a good AI to summarize audio files? The OpenAI's Whisper is really good. What major challenge do you think AI could help solve in the next 5 years? Lots and lots of them. I think it's going to automate out. Thank you very much for the hearty heart. I think it's going to automate out a lot of the low-level repetitive work that is kind of soul-crushing for people. I think the scientific advancements are going to be insane. I think medical advancements, advancements in cancer treatments, genetic diseases, neurological diseases, brain injuries, spinal cord injuries. I think the advancements are going to be insane. Sam Altman talks about. I should find this. I should find this link and put it somewhere. But it was an interview, and he says he thinks within the next 5 years, or I don't know if he said 5 years, maybe it was 10 years. In the next short amount of time, we're probably going to have a single year where we have as much scientific advancement as the previous 500. And if you want to get a little mind fuck, go to ChatGPT right now and search for what were the major scientific advancements over the past 500 years. And so just look at all those. Look at the list it gives you. Have it write you a table. And then imagine a single year where the modern equivalent of that much advancement happens in a single year. That's a very real possibility in not much time from now. So probably within 5 years, it's a lot. There's probably going to be advancements in climate science, in energy, like not needing oil energy. Yeah, lots. So I don't know. I've created a community, Kyle. Emilio's wife is our mayor. That's awesome. Thanks for the answer. You're welcome. Aladdin is back. It is like a little family in here. It's cool. I like it. What's nice is, if someone comes in and starts trolling me, you guys, like pounce on them appropriately. If they have questions I already answered, you let them know. If I went to go deal with the dog, you're like, he'll be back. He's changing his shirt so we can read. It's good. I feel like you got my back. It's nice. I was a bartender in New York City for like a year. Was it? Yeah, like a year and a half. And my first bartending gig was right near One Police Plaza, which is, the police station in Manhattan that all the cop shows are at, right? And so there were two bars. Like One Police Plaza was here, and then there was this Irish bar I think it was called O'Neill's. And then I was at this like low rent neighborhood bar called Castillo's. And so all the police officers went to O'Neill's, and like all the lower level cops and administrators came to my bar. And so one night I'm bartending, and they were wild people. They were wild. Like this one guy, who was this really short guy, I forget his name, but he was like, yeah, I became a cop so I could kick people's ass. I just like kicking people's ass. That's why I became a cop. So anyway, so one night I'm bartending, and like these two like college punks come in and they start fucking with me. And the little short guy, the one that said he liked to kick people's ass, he was like 5'4" maybe, and skinny, a Puerto Rican guy. And he goes, hey, can I ask you something? Can I ask you something outside? And so they went outside, and they were gone for like 15 minutes. And he came back. He was a little sweaty. He's like, yeah, they're not going to fuck with you again. He drank for free for that week. So it was pretty good. It's good when you got your low level cops to have your back when some jerks come in. I gave it my menus. Oh, I was already here. What's going on, TikTok? Why do you move me around so? There's the audio file. There's that. Aladdin is BlackRock. Yeah, I know. No one's going to outperform Aladdin. Well, I mean, I know, like the early days of the World Wide Web, there was a lot of Shangri-La kind of possibility as well. And all that sort of consolidated, like all the open source stuff and all the really cool design stuff, that all sort of went away, and it all did consolidate. So I assume the same thing's going to happen with this AI, but I think if the big companies try to consolidate it too much, the open source community, I feel like this is I feel like this is squeezing through the fingers of the control mechanisms, but we'll see. We'll see. Now I'm going to run her policy through ChatGPT. Thanks for that. Oh, cool. Oh, that's great. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Take everyone's complicated healthcare policies and, home and auto insurance policies and, have Code Interpreter, make you charts and graphs about, how you could. What are the, you could probably ask it things like, what are the sneaky ways that they make this process overly complicated that we could simplify and get fucking paid? I bet that's in there. That's actually something that would be fun to play with. Because, there's just evil fucking policy writing people and lawyers that are like, well, if rather than having them fill out one form, we had them fill out 10 forms at 6 different times over the course of 3 months, and then at each of those steps, we try to deny the claim, I would think that only 0.625 of the people would actually pursue that, right? There's people thinking like that in those fucking companies. So now we can think like that too. We can actually read their shit and decipher, oh, that's how the rule works? Okay. Let's find another rule that contradicts that, and then let's take them to court and watch them settle before we get there. That would be good. Good thing there are genetically engineered mosquitoes that can kill off the spread of malaria. Oh, you're being serious. Yeah, and Zika. Yeah, that's good. They're doing all sorts of remediation right now down there about, I assume it's just lots of chemicals. Monsanto's probably happy. What if AI determined our government unalived JFK? The conspiracy theorists would have more evidence to say that our government unalived JFK. I don't know. I feel like we're living in an era right now where logic doesn't matter anymore, truth doesn't matter anymore. Like we're in this post-truth sort of world that's very, very frustrating. So I don't fucking know. I don't know. What would be nice is if AI could snap us the fuck out of whatever pipe dream we're in the middle of right now. We could just get back to being human. That would be good. Whatever happened to IBM's Watson? It flamed out. Watson Health was just a disaster, apparently. They just relaunched because it's just remarkable that the amazingly quick adoption of ChatGPT just forced everyone out of the woodwork. So IBM was really big. They did their big blue thing. They beat Garry Kasparov at chess. That was sort of the first big headline. AI can beat humans, because they said no one will ever be able to beat a grandmaster. And they did it. And then they had this Watson brand was just fucking brilliant. And then they said, we're going to do Watson Health and we're going to cure cancer and we're going to do all this stuff. And then it just kind of flamed out. And it was machine learning that was not this transformer-based stuff that we're playing with today. So it was much more specialized. And so I don't know why it didn't succeed, but it didn't succeed. And then about 4 months ago, IBM announced Watson GPT, I think they called it, or something like that. They basically said, we got AI too. We did the chess thing, and Watson GPT. And then I haven't heard shit from them since. But I did hear from a buddy that knows some folks at IBM. They put together what do they call them? A center of excellence around prompt writing. And they're IBM. They have 400,000 employees, or 280,000 now. It was 400,000 when I was working with them. Apparently they've put 1,000 people on prompt writing. Because they can. So I have a feeling we'll hear from IBM. But yeah, it sort of flamed out. Well. Ain't you a sight for sore eyes? Thank you. Your show is something else, I gotta tell you. Well, I would agree. It's something else. I hope it's good. I hope it's good. I want y'all to be happy, You know what I mean? It would be nice if you was happy. I don't want you to... Howdy, partner. I'll tell you what. right. Da, 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 da. Whatever happened to IBM Watson? We just did it. Well, well, well. Ciphers to our eyes. I am now. I am now. I am now. You catch my drift, sir? Yeah, that's your name, and it's in your thing. All right. Which bar did the defendants go to? I think the defendants got the fuck out of Lower Manhattan. The defendants were like, "I'm out of here." they got they got in there. They got in there in the subway and headed to the boroughs or to Jersey or to the Upper East Side. What's something you had wished you had ChatGPT for 20 or 30 years ago? Fucking writing screenplays. I went through a 2-year period where I wrote 7 feature-length screenplays with a writing partner. And for me, like, the hardest part of writing is the low-level shit. Like, I love the concepting. I love outlining while it's still creative. And I like when the screenplay is either at 0 to 15% done or 85% to 100% done, because those are really creative things. The part of the screenplay that is just, for me, is just like grinding my face against a brick wall, having some strong person grind my face against a brick wall, is that middle, the grind, the you just got to keep writing. You feel like it's a piece of shit. You don't know what's going to happen. You don't follow the outline anymore. So just what's happening with me with ChatGPT right now is the whole idea of creative blocks is a thing of the past. Like, if I don't know where to start or I don't know what to do, I can just, with ChatGPT, I can get to 80% like that. So I can just stay at a much higher creative level. So almost all of my history of all the writing I've done over the years, I just wish I had it for that. I wish it were just part of my life, because it's staggeringly powerful to be able to have a concept that historically would not have been brought into the world just because it wasn't a good enough idea, or it wasn't it was just too much to deal with to actually pull it out of my head, or I didn't have the energy or whatever. Now I can just go, I kind of have a brain fart of an idea and I can go, let me see if there's an outline. That's not the right tone, but you know what would be the right tone? Boom, there's the right tone. Ooh, that's actually pretty good. Let me copy and paste that and throw that over here. So like I'm sort of getting ideas out of my head much more quickly, and then I'm getting them to a higher level of completion much more quickly. What do you got to do? You got to pee? Why are you whining? Huh? You got to go pee pee? No. Yeah. Little fat dog. You little fat dog. No. Yes. All right. I'll be right back. Come on. All right, I'm back. Anyone still here? 30 people. You guys are amazing. All right. The dog is happier. All right, let's get some hearts going, see if we can get some more people in here. Bang on the hearts. Share the live if you can. And I'll do another, what time is it? It's 10 o'clock. I'll do another, 15 minutes, half hour, something like that. I love watching the art evolve in front of my eyes. Yeah, it's amazing. What's the big break on your show gonna happen? Let's get this show on the road, buddy. Hey, where's my big break on your show gonna happen? I don't know, man. Let's get this show on the road. I just started a new job, and trying to compare the insurance choices is... So, Emilio's wife, if you started a new job and you're trying to compare insurance choices, go play with Code Interpreter if you haven't, because I bet you could grab, let's say you got three choices, or maybe there's 10. You could grab the PDFs of whatever the fuck they're trying to sell you, throw them in a folder, zip that folder, and then upload that to Code Interpreter and have it compare them for you. I bet it does it. I bet within an hour you could knock some stuff out. The silver lawyers are going to be the reasons why it stalled more. I agree with that. With the big companies, for sure. I mean, that's why Browse with Bing is no longer in ChatGPT. They know what it means for them. The lawyers they're pre-ordering their yachts now, because so many lawsuits are going to be flying in so many directions. When you have the level of disruption that's coming, everyone's going to be suing everyone. You stole my business. I mean, Elon's doing it right now with Twitter, right, with Threads. All the publishers are now saying to OpenAI, you trained this on 3 billion documents, so you owe us all money. Okay. This is just the lawyers are going to make a fucking fortune on this stuff. Yeah. AI does not determine. No, AI is a probability engine. It will determine. It doesn't right now. Coming? Huh. Alright, whatever. I'm back. Uh-oh. Lots of loves going on. I'm a keyboard rephraser app. I can talk like Joe Pesci, sure. Killarney Rose. Can AI solve crimes like who killed John Bonet? If there's enough... Well, what AI can do is it can take whatever evidence, it can analyze shit really well. So if there's evidence to be analyzed, sure. If there's not, it'll make it up. I mean, that's the problem. The hallucinations with this shit are a lot. Although what it sounds like with Code Interpreter is that it can do math because it's writing Python. If you watch how it does what it does, it's mind-blowing. It's writing Python, so it can actually do math. And apparently it hallucinates yet less because it's analyzing a specific set of data. All right, you bunch of pansies. Let's put an end to those damn creative roadblocks. Exactly. Don Rickles. Dog ain't crying. Champ is hefty, not fat. What did the doctor call him? She goes, the vet. We took him to the vet. And she goes, well, he's doing okay. She goes, he's a chunky boy. He's the best. When your vet says your dog is chunky. He's cute, though. All right. To show off. Thelonious. The thing with Don Rickles and Frank Sinatra was hilarious. That's a great story. Do you think teachers should prohibit the use of ChatGPT to write essays? No, I don't. Go read Ethan Mollick's piece called, let me find it, The Homework Apocalypse. Mollick, Homework Apocalypse. Yeah, The Homework Apocalypse. Go read that. It basically says the internet made cheating really easy. AI makes it's done. And so it's not that I think the intent is good with teachers saying, if ChatGPT writes your essay, you're cheating and you shouldn't do that, so I'm going to find things that determine that and I'm going to block it. And the intent behind it is right. They want the kids to learn. But I think how kids learn has to change. It has to fundamentally change. Because education pre-ChatGPT was about giving kids enough information so that they could memorize it, assimilate it, learn it, get the knowledge. You now have a tool that can do the tactical execution of almost anything at some level of competence. So if you're moving into a world of infinite content creation and infinite sort of tactical execution, what's left? Critical thinking is left. So the teachers that I see that are doing this right are bringing this shit into the classroom. They're saying, let's have ChatGPT write the paper. And we're all going to look at the same paper. And what you're going to do tonight is you're going to go home and you're going to read how ChatGPT did it, and you're going to come up with ways you would have done it differently. And you're going to find out things it did wrong. And you're going to find out if it used this logical argument or that logical argument or some other logical argument. And we're going to have discussions and teach them to think critically. So I think that becomes more and more and more important. Have I been to Casa Bonita since it's reopening? I have not, and I need to get there because apparently the food is better. The food was so bad at the old one that I was told by 6 people, like, it's not even like the kind of bad that's funny. It's just like disgusting. Don't go there. So I've never been, actually. My co-founder of my business has been, and she said it was worse than dog food. It was horrific. But apparently it's good now, so I want to get there. I want to learn to code an app. I looked up API pricing, and it's all about tokens I don't understand. So basically, when you make an API call, so let's say you're doing an app, and you want someone to be able to say, oh, what was it? I think it was Silver Fox, who's got the restaurant, who said she took her menus and popped them into ChatGPT and kind of came up with new recipes, right? So let's say you want to do an app like that, and you scan your current menu, and it automatically creates a list of ingredients based on those things, and it gives you new things. Well, you're going to need to do an API call to translate the photo of the menu into something, and that's going to cost you 2 cents. And then you're going to need to take the OCR text from the menu, and you're going to send that to OpenAI. So let's say there's 1,000. Let's say there's 750 words on that menu, and so you have a prompt that says take this menu. There's the menu, and you send that to OpenAI, and then it sends you back a list of ingredients. Let's say between sending the menu plus your prompt and getting the response, that's 1,500 tokens. So your API will cost, the API call to do that will cost whatever the tokens times 1,000 is. So it's like 2 cents or 6 cents or whichever model you're using. So if you did 1,500 instead of 2 cents, it would be 3 cents, right? And so it's basically just quantity of shit sent and quantity of shit sent back, and then they add that all up, and it's very, very reasonable if you're doing a small amount of thing. Like if you've got an app that only has 1,000 users and they're only doing, on average 500 tokens a day, it's not going to cost you very much. If you have 100 million users and they're doing, 10,000 tokens a day, your bill's going to be big. But it's quite cheap if you're doing small prototypey stuff. So, I haven't been playing with it a ton lately, but I haven't had a bill more than like $10 or $12 on any month that I've been playing with the API stuff. I don't call it a lot, but it's pretty cheap. I know you're the guy to ask. Sir, can we collaborate? Where can I write to you? If you go to my profile, there's a link tree in my profile that's got my contact info. It's also got a survey for this thing. I'm putting together a workshop. So some folks on here have said, hey, why don't you put together a workshop? So I made a graphic for a workshop. That counts, right? But if you go to Linktree/RealKyleShannon, that's the Linktree. The first link there is the survey. There's only 3 questions there. I just want to find out what do people want to... what do they want to learn if I did a workshop? And then I'll put something together. So anyway, my contact info is there. I am now. What am I doing? Oh, yeah. All right. I am now. You can DM Kyle. It's true. I actually look at that shit because, why not? Can AI build me a YouTube channel? It can write you all the scripts. And then you can use other tools to automate all that shit. You can use Canva. Canva's got their bulk create now, so you can bulk create in Canvas, have ChatGPT write all the scripts. Yes. Here's the thing. It's just we're moving into an era where everything's going to be automated. Everything. And then what gets really interesting, I think, is what becomes valuable in a world where you can automate everything from creative to music to writing to project management to just everything. What becomes valuable? And my gut is telling me right now, authenticity. I think authenticity makes a comeback. Live music, like in-person things, real people telling real stories may rise above the noise. I think that, but it's going to take 2 to 3 years for all that stuff to start to happen, but that's where we're headed. You have to know your thing, otherwise it's almost useless for instance encoding. Yeah, I agree. That's what I say about this AI shit is how to get involved. If you're new with this stuff, if you're trying to figure out how do I get my head around this stuff, there's kind of 3 phases. There's the dick around with it phase, right? The parlor tricks phase. Write me a song, write me a poem, write me a marketing strategy. Just dicking around with it, kind of generally getting the capability. Then there's sort of looking at, well, wait, what do I do? What's the thing you're good at? And I think your point there is really smart. Like if you're really good at engineering and coding, you're going to be able to do things with the engineering and coding this can do that are at a whole different level than what all of the rest of us can do. So start to understand how to use these tools to do what you do. Like basically disrupt yourself. Figure out how you can do what you do better. And then I think the next phase after that is then start to look more broadly and more horizontally and say, well, shit, it took me 30 years to get to this level of being an engineer. I don't have to take another 30 years to get to the level of being a good illustrator because now I have Midjourney. So if I can do this level of coding and this level of image creation with Midjourney, I can maybe put together a project I never would have even considered before. And then if you do that with 5 or 6 different disciplines or 10, all of a sudden you start to become a super being, right? So these things become humanity amplifiers, right? And some people are going to be really good at this. The ones that are good at critical thinking and thinking horizontally are going to be fucking rock stars. Makes unbelievable errors. It does. You've got to be vigilant with the errors. Although Code Interpreter, I think, is going to help thin that out. If you're not aware, you're lost. Agree. Yes, AI can build you a YouTube channel. So how do I get an app created? Is there a prompt for that? Well, so it depends what you mean by an app. If you want an app like that's going to show up on your iPhone, then you need to do stuff with Xcode and Swift and things like that. And ChatGPT can help you write all that, but you still need to get it in frameworks. It can teach you all that. If you don't feel like learning all that shit, down at the Lego block level, use a no-code tool like Zapier, which now has a new feature called interfaces where you can create a website and bots and things like that. Or there's another no-code platform called Bubble, which you can do. You can create mobile apps with Bubble, and I think it handles all the back end shit and submitting it to app stores and Google Play. Or go find an engineer who knows how to do app development, and ideally find one that's doing app development using these tools where they can knock that shit out really, really quick. So I wouldn't put that all on yourself necessarily. Find a partner or a young person that's hungry. Like finding a young person that's hungry right now is kind of hard because they're all a bit cynical and they're like, I like working from home and I don't really... This whole thing where you entrepreneurs with your expectation of 40 full hours of work. So if you can find, not that, but someone who's actually excited about this stuff and thinking about it entrepreneurially, you can probably get that app done very, very quickly. But go look at Bubble. I mean, Bubble and Zapier, the no-code tools are more simple than coding, but they're still complicated. So you need to know your level of sort of geekiness tolerance, right? If you kind of like geeking out on stuff, you'll probably enjoy them and you'll be successful. Like, it's not hard to be successful with them. You just need to be a good problem solver because you still have to do a lot of problem solving, even though they're no code. Yeah, the problem with no code is there's still a learning curve. That's exactly right. Like Zapier's really got all sorts of quirks and weird things. And yeah, that the other point is they're quite limited. That's the second problem with no code is you'll figure out the no code stuff. You'll get to 90% of what you want, and you're like, I just need this 10%. That's the 10% that the no-code tool doesn't do. It's like, oh, that? Yeah. That you're going to actually have to write some code for. Shit, really? It's totally my experience with them. That's totally my experience. Yeah, Zapier is more like a tool for connecting other tools. Yeah, it is. Zapier. But I think Bubble is more of a app development framework. But anyway. Listen, it is 10:18 here in Denver, Colorado. It looks like I've gotten to the the bottom of the list here. Got to the bottom of the barrel. Really nice hanging out with you all tonight. I appreciate your time as always. Have a fantastic evening. Peace out. I will... Oh, Silver Fox, there's also remote engineers on Fiverr. Yeah, that could be interesting. So peace out, everybody. Thanks from Bucharest. Awesome. Bottom of the barrel. I meant bottom of the question barrel. Not that you human beings are the bottom of the barrel. How dare you, Emilio's wife. You know better than that. Peace out, everyone.